Our first story of the day is titled "My Husband Gave Me Expired Food" with about 1 million exclamation marks at the end of it. She says, "What the hell? I'm so furious right now, and I am so terrified something could be wrong with my baby. He grilled food and gave me a hamburger bun that expires in 4 days. And of course, Google is freaking me out because my bun had a small green moldy spot on it. Has this happened to any of you? I'm freaking out and don't want to look at his face. I don't know why he did this when he just bought new buns. He said he wanted to get rid of the bread that would expire soon. Then why did you buy new buns? What should I do?" Clearly, the answer to what you should do under this circumstance is wait a bit until you eat the whole burger, then go on the internet, write an angry thread out into the world, wait to see what people tell you to do, then run into the bathroom, make yourself sick, and then you're good again. Obviously, that was sarcastic. This is one of those cases where the sheer amount of anxiety, and I kind of get it, it's indicative very much of the anxiety that people are under when they're pregnant when it comes to eating and just food control in general. And yes, it is true that there are a couple of foodborne pathogens and bacteria that if you were exposed to while you were pregnant, something could happen to your baby. So I'm not saying that there is zero risk of that. I'm only saying that this is an extreme overreaction to something very small. And the point of I had a small green moldy spot on it, like you can take out the moldy spot. You can decide not to eat it if you notice that there's something off with it. If you like taste it and you're like, nah, I'm not feeling this. I think that there might be something off here. You don't have to eat it. The level of anger that she seems to have and the way that she delved right into this kind of terror for her baby is quite sad to me. Under these circumstances, you can say, hey, it's great that her husband prepared food for her. She should be grateful that she has that she got prepared food, that she didn't have to work for it, that she didn't have to do anything for it. And the vitriol, it's like, I'm freaking out and don't want to look at his face, as if he intentionally tried to poison her or poison their baby, is just really unfortunate. So it's funny on the one hand and very sad on the other hand. That's how I read this one. I'll read a couple of the comments out for you, which may let you regain your faith in humanity a little bit. One person says, "Did you eat the moldy spot? I'm so confused. Don't eat the mold and you'd be fine, I imagine. If the expiration date, which isn't even a hard rule, was in 4 days, why would your husband know to not feed it to you? Seems like an honest mistake and one you wouldn't be mad at him about." And OP replies, "It was just a silly thing happening. I didn't eat the moldy spot, as far as I know. When I saw it, I stopped. I was irritated because he didn't give me the new buns that he bought, and instead he gave me the almost expired ones." This is actually something that I do quite often in terms of, I'd say it's just how I was raised. You try to eat the stuff that you expect to go off before you eat the stuff that you just bought new. My husband doesn't relate to it. My husband would do the opposite and always eat the freshest food that you have first. But I think it's a very normal difference that can happen to people. I find it really sad that she seems to assume that he did it intentionally, or that there's I guess carelessness. Maybe the argument is that there's a certain element of carelessness here, but I suspect that he just thought, hey, we have a bun, and then he just gave her a bun. And it's such a small situation, it's a day-to-day kind of thing that could happen to anyone, that I find it really sad that she made such a big deal out of it. Next person says, "First thing I thought was, at least he made you food. Seriously. Even if you ate the moldy spot, you're fine. Don't stress over small stuff unless you're sick or in pain. Stress is more of a problem than a little mold." And then she says, "Yeah, I love the days he cooks, but I do have to make sure things are done correctly." There's really something about her attitude and the way that she expresses herself that just doesn't speak to me at all, that I find kind of not a person that I would really want to interact with a lot. I'm glad that there are other people here saying, hey, maybe you should just be a little bit grateful that he made you some food, and then just not stress out about it. In general, the amount of stress that people are under when they eat something or are exposed to something or breathe something, where they're like, oh my God, this is the end of the world. In general, babies are pretty durable, bodies are pretty durable. You can get through quite a lot of stuff. You can make it through actual full-blown food poisoning and still be fine with your baby, you know? Not that I'm saying that you should aim to get food poisoning, obviously not, but the immediate assumption of, oh, okay, if I eat something off, then everything's going to go down the drain is not a good one. The next person says, do you think he purposely gave you a bun with a small mold spot on it? If I were to take a wild guess, I would say he didn't see it and didn't want to waste food if it wasn't expired yet. And then she's like, no, I don't think he did it on purpose, but being a pregnant woman, I would appreciate fresh food at all times, especially when he bought fresh buns. I take fresh food over almost expired food any day, which is fair enough. Maybe this is just a quick conversation that you can have with your husband where you say, hey, if we have fresh food available, please let's go for that one first. And then if we still, if we still eat the other stuff, then it's fine. If not, then we throw it away and that's completely fine. This is not a thing that you need to argue about or debate about or have a fight over. You can just say that. It's not a big deal. And then the next person says, is this for real? Which was about my first response as well. And she said it was very real in that moment. And the next person, another person replies, pregnancy rage. So yes, maybe a little bit of the freak out is just hormonal. Maybe this is just part of the process that pregnant women go through. I didn't experience much pregnancy rage, to be honest, but I guess a lot of other people do, and I think it's a normal symptom for some people when it comes to pregnancy. So maybe the focus should be just on learning to calm down and not stress out.